Listen to that sound. It's a rhythmic, almost hypnotic squeak. If you close your eyes, it sounds like a machine working, a factory floor, a clock, a heart beating with mechanical precision. Now, open your eyes. You see a hamster. Its tiny feet are moving so fast they become a blur. Its chest is heaving, its eyes are wide with focus. Its entire biological being is dedicated to one single task, moving forward. It is running with more intensity than most of us bring to our entire careers. If you watch this for an hour, or a day, or a year, your brain would instinctively tell you that this creature is on a journey. It is expending so much energy, it must be arriving somewhere. But look at the base of the wheel. Look at the cage. The hamster hasn't moved an inch from where it started 3 hours ago. It is exhausted, it is driven, and it is perfectly stationary. There is something strangely satisfying, almost seductive, about watching that motion. Movement feels like progress, activity feels like purpose, and repetition feels like control. We find comfort in the sight of something working, even if the work produces nothing. But let me ask you something as you watch that tiny wheel spin. When was the last time you stopped to check if your own life was moving forward, or if you were just running at full speed inside a cage of your own making? Because the most dangerous trap in the world isn't one that stops you from moving. It's one that makes you run so fast you don't notice you're going nowhere. To understand why we are so susceptible to the loop, we have to understand the biological origin of the animal in the wheel. A hamster, in its natural, wild habitat, is a creature of immense industry. It is a tireless forager. In the vast deserts and plains of Syria or northern China, a hamster can travel miles in a single night. It maps complex territories. It builds intricate, multi-chambered tunnels for safety. It stores massive caches of food to survive the winter. For a wild hamster, movement is synonymous with survival. If it stops moving, it starves. If it stops exploring, it is eaten. Nature has hardwired this creature to be an engine of kinetic energy. But when you take that creature and put it in a glass box, you don't remove the engine. You just remove the destination. The domestic hamster still feels the ancestral urge to run 5 miles a night, but the walls of the cage are only 20 inches apart. So, we provide a replacement. We provide a simulation. We give it the wheel. The wheel is a psychological masterpiece of design. It allows the animal to satisfy its biological drive without ever challenging the boundaries of its confinement. It provides the sensation of the journey without any of the risks of the wild. It is a closed system where energy is recycled into thin air. Now, consider the modern human condition. For 99% of human history, we were like the wild hamster. We moved for a reason. We tracked herds, we gathered roots, we migrated with the seasons. Our activity was tied directly to our survival and our progress across the physical world. But in the last few centuries, and specifically in the last few decades, our cages have become much more sophisticated. Most of us no longer have to hunt for our food or build our own shelters. We have entered the era of the simulated struggle. We sit in ergonomic chairs, in climate-controlled rooms, and we expend immense amounts of cognitive energy. We process data, we attend meetings, we reply to hundreds of emails, we manage complex digital systems. We are running. We are sweating. We are exhausted by 5 p.m. But at the end of the year, when you look at your life, has the landscape actually changed? Or did you just complete another 3,000 miles on the digital wheel? The problem with modern society is that it has become incredibly good at giving us things to do that feel like work, but produce no personal evolution. We have replaced the forager's journey with the employee's loop. We are satisfying our deep-seated need to be active, but we are doing it in a way that keeps us exactly where the system needs us to be: sedentary, predictable, and occupied. The wheel doesn't exist for the hamster's benefit. It exists to keep the hamster from scratching at the glass. Let's look at Jared again. Jared, who we saw hiding behind his fish tank in the last episode, trying to find peace in indifference. Eventually, the silence of the aquarium became too heavy for him. The void started to stare back. So, Jared did what most Americans do when they feel the existential dread of emptiness. He looked for a new routine. He decided to get his life together. He started a new job. He signed up for a 5 a.m. workout class. He downloaded a productivity app that gamifies his to-do list with little ding sounds and gold stars. He started color-coding his calendar. From the outside, Jared looks like a success story. He is crushing it. He is busy from the moment he wakes up until the moment he collapses back into bed. But if you sit with Jared and ask him what he's building, what the ultimate destination of all this activity is, he can't tell you. He'll talk about efficiency. He'll talk about optimizing his workflow. He'll talk about consistency. Jared has fallen for the momentum mirage. This is a psychological state where the speed of your life masks the stagnation of your soul. A loop doesn't feel like a trap when you're moving fast enough. It feels like momentum. When you are checking boxes on a list, your brain releases a tiny hit of dopamine. It feels good. It feels like you are getting things done. But there is a massive difference between getting things done and going somewhere. Think about your own checking the box moments. You spend 2 hours cleaning your inbox, moving emails into folders, unsubscribing from newsletters, achieving the holy grail of inbox zero. You feel a sense of triumph. You feel productive. But did those 2 hours move your life's mission forward? Did they deepen your relationships? Did they sharpen your mind? Or did you just spend 2 hours arranging the sand in your cage? The system loves the momentum mirage. It wants you to be a high performer within the loop. It wants you to run faster on the wheel because that energy powers the machine. But it doesn't want you to look up and see that the wheel isn't connected to anything. We have become a culture of occupied people. We brag about being slammed or buried under work as if it's a badge of honor. We use busyness as a shield against the realization that we are fundamentally stagnant. If I'm busy, I don't have to think. If I'm running, I don't have to face the fact that I'm still in the same room I was 5 years ago. Why is the loop so hard to break? Why does the hamster, even when the cage door is left open, often stay on the wheel? It's because of the way our brains process rewards. Our neurochemistry is still calibrated for a world of scarcity, but we live in a world of artificial abundance. In the wild, a reward was tangible. You found a berry bush, you ate. You killed a predator, you survived. The feedback loop was clear and physical. In the modern world, the rewards have become symbolic. A like, a follow, a promotion, a digital badge, a performance review. When you complete a repetitive task, your brain's reward center, the nucleus accumbens, is activated. It doesn't distinguish between a task that changes your life and a task that just keeps you busy. It just likes the completion. This is why many people find themselves addicted to work that they actually hate. They don't love the work. They are addicted to the repetitive cycle of stress and relief. We see this most clearly in the way we consume digital content. You open an app, you scroll, you see something mildly interesting, dopamine. You scroll again, nothing. You scroll again, something funny, dopamine. You have spent 4 hours moving your thumb a total of half a mile. Your brain feels like it has explored a vast landscape of information. But when you put the phone down, you have nothing to show for it. No new skill, no deeper understanding, just a faint sense of mental exhaustion. This is the digital wheel. It is designed by the most brilliant engineers in the world to keep you running in place. They have mapped the exact intervals of reward needed to keep you from closing the app. They have turned your curiosity into a closed loop. Jared spends his evenings now researching. He watches videos on how to be more productive. He reads articles on the morning routines of billionaires. He is consuming information about progress, which his brain interprets as making progress. This is the ultimate trap of the modern age, learning about doing without ever actually doing. We are a generation that knows everything about the wheel, but we've forgotten how to step off the platform. We are satisfied with the feeling of growth, while our actual lives remain perfectly, safely stunted. Let's look at the dark side of safety. Why do we choose the loop over the unknown? Why does the hamster return to the wheel even when it's tired? Because the wheel is predictable. It is a known quantity. The wheel has a specific rhythm. It has a specific resistance. It never surprises you. Within the boundaries of the wheel, the hamster knows exactly what to expect. There are no predators. There is no weather. There is no failure. You just run until you're tired, and then you sleep. For humans, routine is the ultimate psychological stabilizer. It reduces decision fatigue. It creates a sense of order in a chaotic universe. If you follow the same routine every day, you don't have to ask yourself the big, terrifying questions. You don't have to ask, is this the right career for me? Am I truly happy in this relationship? What am I doing with my limited time on this planet? The loop protects you from the truth. It is a form of cognitive insurance. As long as you are running, you are safe. Think about the people you know who have stayed in the same mediocre job for 20 years. They aren't happy. They complain about it every day. They talk about one day leaving to start their own business or travel the world, but they never do. Why? Because the misery of the loop is familiar. And in the human brain, the familiar, even if it's painful, is often perceived as safer than the unknown, even if it's full of potential. We have been trained to fear the great unknown. We have been told that stability is the highest virtue. So we stay in the cage, we stay in the job, we stay in the city, we stay in the habits that are slowly killing our spirit, because the thought of stepping outside the bars is too frightening to contemplate. We have become experts at optimizing the cage. We buy better pillows, better coffee, better entertainment systems to make our confinement feel like a luxury. But a gold-plated cage is still a cage, and a wheel with a leather seat is still a wheel. We need to make a vital distinction between movement and advancement. Physics tells us that you can have a massive amount of kinetic energy, a car spinning its tires in the mud, without any displacement. The wheels are turning at 100 miles per hour, but the car is not moving. This is the activity trap. Progress requires direction. It requires a point A and a point B. It requires you to be in a different place tomorrow than you were today, not just physically, but psychologically, intellectually, and emotionally. Ask yourself, if you look at your life 1 year ago today and you compare it to right now, what has actually changed? Did you just earn more money to buy more things to maintain the same lifestyle? That is kinetic energy. Did you just get better at a job that you still find unfulfilling? That is kinetic energy. Did you just consume more content, more news, more information that you never applied? That is kinetic energy. Actual progress, actual displacement, usually feels uncomfortable. It feels like the wild. It involves risk. It involves the possibility of falling flat on your face. It involves leaving the wheel behind and walking into the tall grass where you can't see what's coming next. Jared is afraid of actual progress. He likes the feel of his 5 a.m. workout and his color-coded calendar because they provide a sense of accomplishment without any of the risks of true change. He is running faster, but his life is a copy of a copy of a copy. Every day is a slightly more optimized version of the day before. He is becoming a more efficient version of a person he doesn't even like. We are a society obsessed with self-improvement. But most of what we call self-improvement is actually just wheel improvement. We are trying to become better runners on the wheel, instead of trying to become people who don't need the wheel at all. We are improving our ability to endure the system, instead of improving our ability to transcend it. So, how do you know? How do you distinguish between a healthy routine that builds you up and a loop that is just keeping you occupied? It starts with the pause. The hamster in our hook, when the hand tapped the glass, it stopped for a second. It looked around. In that moment, it was aware of its environment. It was aware that it was in a cage. But then, the instinct took over, and it stepped back into the wheel. You have to prolong that pause. You have to stop long enough to look at the base of the wheel. You have to ask, if I do this for another 10 years, where will I be? Not how much money will I have or what will my title be, but who will I be? Awareness is the only thing that can break the loop. Once you realize that the momentum you feel is an illusion, the wheel starts to look different. It stops looking like a tool for fitness and start looking like a tool for control. This isn't about stopping everything. Routine is a powerful tool. It helps you build skills, maintain health, and achieve long-term goals. But a healthy routine always points somewhere. It has an exit strategy. A loop is its own destination. Jared is beginning to see the bars. He is starting to realize that his busyness is just a form of sophisticated hiding. He is starting to realize that he left the indifferences of the fish tank only to replace it with the frantic repetition of the hamster wheel. He hasn't escaped the system, he just changed departments. The most dangerous loops are the ones that feel like progress. They are the ones that make you feel like a success while you are still fundamentally stuck. But once you recognize them, you have a choice. You can keep running. You can try to break the record for the most rotations in a single lifetime. Or you can step off. You can walk to the glass. You can look at the world outside the cage. And you can decide that the risk of the wild is better than the safety of the wheel. But be careful. Stepping off the wheel is only the beginning. Because once you stop running, you have to deal with the silence. And you have to deal with the other creatures. Because as Jared is about to find out, not everything in this world is content to stay in its cage. Some creatures don't need a wheel to be active. Some creatures don't repeat, they react, they adapt, they connect. And some of them are much closer than you think. In episode 7, we leave the world of solitary animals and predictable loops. We are going to talk about the need. We are going to talk about the creatures that cannot exist without you, and the terrifying ways they ensure you stay right where they can reach you. Do you hear that? The wheel has stopped. The silence is back. And something else is moving in the dark. See you in episode 7.